Hey guys, Joe here. This is a Pocket with Joe. It is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Excited for the show today. We have two great NHL games to talk about, break down. Now, we've got to look at what happened yesterday before we jump in today. Hats off to the Tampa Bay Lightning getting the sweep there over the Florida Panthers. Now they dominated last night 2-0, a win for them. With those two goals coming in the third period, the Florida Panthers, we actually did see a stronger game out of them last night. I know they got the loss here, but what we saw out of them was more attack on the net. At the end of the day, it wasn't enough. They couldn't get it done. They got swept in this series. Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning, absolutely phenomenal goalie. He stood on his head throughout this game. Now, the other game on the board that we had last night was the Colorado Avalanche taking on the St. Louis Blues in a game where we really did see the Blues rally back, looking like they were going to make a complete fight for the win here. We got their team total over 2.5, weren't able to get them here for the win. Colorado winning that game 6-3, now leading this series, headed back to Colorado for the next game. It's going to be really interesting to see if the Blues can pick up another one. I do think we probably see them pick up one more, extending this series a little bit longer with their backs against the wall. But again, it is going to be a hard fought battle for the St. Louis Blues without Binghamton. Let's look at today's games, you guys. I can't wait for these games. We have, firstly, kicking off at 7 o'clock Eastern, the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New York Rangers. Now, this total opened at 5, now up to 5.5. I am surprised it got bet up. Can't even remember the last time we saw a 4.5. Or sorry, I can't remember the last time we've gone down, but up to a 4.5. But at this 5.5, we definitely have to ride it under again. You guys, we're looking at the New York Rangers rolling in here at -110, -110 for the Carolina Hurricanes as well. And I think in this game, we're going to see a lower scoring one. The Canes are leading this series 2-1. And we've seen the Rangers in the last game. Their defense really did a step up, blocking those shots on goal, not allowing the Canes to get the shots needed to get the win. I think we can look here for the Rangers to come out and play another strong game, play a dominant game and get the win. I'm taking the New York Rangers as well on the money line. Igor Shesterkin is playing absolutely phenomenal. He's 36-13-4 on the season with that 2.07 goals against average. Nothing against Ranta. Ranta is coming in here strong for the Carolina Hurricanes, 15-5-4 with 2.45 goals against average. Carolina, the problem here is they aren't getting it done on the road. The home team has won each of the last 11 games for Carolina. So they've been at home, they've been getting the wins, they've been on the road, they haven't been doing it. And I really do think the Rangers tie up this series, make it 2-2 going back into Carolina, and then we see Carolina be able to get the win at home. It's just they're not playing well on the road at all. And the Rangers playing strong as a favorite in the playoffs, winning their last 4 games, coming in as that favorite. Carolina Hurricanes have dominated in the last 10 meetings against the Rangers, but again, the last couple have been at home. I don't see them getting it done. They've traditionally really struggled in New York as well, going 7-22 in the last 29 meetings. But again, we have a strong defensive game on our hands. A couple other ways that we could take this would be the first period under. We're not paying too much juice at -134. First period under that 1.5. I do like it here. Another thing that I'm sprinkling on is this game to go to overtime. I really do think we could see this being a 1-1 game, or at the very most 2-2. I really struggle with this one hitting even 5. But if it was 2-2 to go to overtime, we would see that 5th goal come into play. That's the only way I think we get to 5. But to go to overtime, you sprinkle on that. That's a plus 290. I think we just got an absolute war on our hands in this one. But I do think the best way to take this is the under 5.5, the first period under 1.5, as well as the New York Rangers for the win. Now, I'm going to not prop bet this one. I really do think everything's limited. We saw in game 1, the Canes win that in OT 2-1. We saw game The Canes win 2-0, and the Rangers in the last game win that 3-1. So I'm looking for limited shots on goal, limited goals in this one, limited points and limited assists. So I'm not going to prop bet it. The next game of the night, exact opposite. We've got the Calgary Flames taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Now Calgary coming in here on the money line at -105, -115 for the Edmonton Oilers. This is the first time in this series Edmonton has come in as a favorite. Now we have a total of 6.5. And if we're going to talk about this game, you guys know we have to talk about Conor McDavid and what we saw out of him in the last game and in the playoffs overall. Conor McDavid for the Edmonton Oilers, I feel like I need to retract a lot of what I said over the season. We have seen him grow as a player this season. He doesn't have that same pouty attitude when the Edmonton Oilers get down. I'm actually very impressed with what I've seen out of him as of late, and that's coming from a Calgary fan. The speed that he played at in the last game was absolutely phenomenal. Him setting Kane up for that third goal that got him the hat trick. Just a beautiful play out there, and he dominated on the ice. Now, Calgary needs to find an answer how to stop Conor McDavid, which isn't going to be easy. I think we're going to see Calgary, we saw in a couple of press conferences, them say they need to play their own game. They need to not try to play Edmonton's game. So a lot of people think we will see Calgary speed up their game, but I almost don't think they're going to speed it up. I think what Calgary has to do, they have to come out, they have to play fast at first and get the lead, and then protect the lead against the Edmonton Oilers. I think we're going to see if the Edmonton Oilers come out hard and punch Calgary in the mouth, that Calgary could lose this one and then take it back to Calgary and then battle the heck out of it to try not to lose that fourth game, because right now Edmonton is leading the series 2-1. So sorry, the fifth game, but the fourth deciding game there. So it's going to be a hard one, you guys. I think the best way to take this is to take the over 6.5 in this one for the full game. Now, I see here in the comments, you're saying the over 2.5 for the Calgary Flames. What are you paying on that? Because I did look at this before, and I'm getting the over 2.5 at -174. Something I'm not, it's just, there's no value there for me, but I don't like to take bets over -145. If you're going to parlay that, I could completely see it. Calgary definitely, if they're going to get this win tonight, have to get over the 2.5 goals. I was contemplating buying it up to 3.5 and getting some plus money there, but I don't love it. There's other props that I'm looking to take tonight. So if you're getting a better line, let me know where you're getting that so that I can head on over and check that out. Now, the other way I was liking this is a high side as well. That first period. Okay, add it to a parlay. I definitely love it in a parlay. That would be a great way to take it. Now, the first period over 1.5, it's a little bit high at -148, but I do see that first period getting the goals. In the last game, we didn't see any goals in that first period with both teams coming out so strong defensively. Calgary needs to come out and needs to score in that first period. I do see a higher scoring game out of Calgary, them putting up their shares of the goals here. Now, the Calgary Flames won that first game. That was a 9-6 game. Defense completely broke down for both teams. In game 2, the Oilers won it 5-3. And then we know the last game, the Edmonton Oilers won it 4-1. So if you like the Oilers to get over that 3.5, I believe the Oilers over 3.5, yeah, you're getting a plus money there with the Edmonton Oilers at +134. I think that is a pretty safe way to go with this. Markstrom has to come out for the Calgary Flames, though, and completely stand on his head. The speed that we're seeing out of the Edmonton Oilers, it is absolutely incredible. And I feel for Markstrom because they are just throwing waves of shots and offensive drives at him. He has no time to react with the speed coming down the ice at him. Calgary's defense needs to find a way to block these shots of the Edmonton Oilers. So I would probably be looking at some prop bets. Let's see the goalie props here while I have you guys. Jacob Markstrom saved goals or saved shots on goal tonight is a 29.5. I'm going to take that over. It's -112 there. I think we definitely see him taking the shots. Edmonton is going to be firing these shots on him. They had so many shots in the last game, so the over 29.5 save shots on goal by Jacob Markstrom at -112 is a beautiful way to take this. For Mike Smith, you are looking at 31.5 save shots on goal. You guys know Mike Smith did a phenomenal job in the last game, but he is inconsistent. I don't want to place money on an inconsistent goalie that can have ups and downs and can look like a totally different player from one game to the next. So I'm going to stay off Mike Smith's goalie prop here, but there is some other props that I'm liking today for you guys in this one. Now to Foley coming in here for the Calgary Flames. His shots on goal over 2.5 at -125. It's hit in 3 of his last 5 games. I do see him driving to the net tonight, and I think we can definitely cash him over the 2.5. Now, Johnny Gaudreau, his assists over 0.5 is coming in at -125 here. It's hit in 4 of his last 5 games. Conor McDavid, you know we got to take his shots on goal. Over 4.5, we're getting plus money still at +110. There is no way Conor McDavid is limited by the Calgary Flames tonight. They have to find a way to stop him. But I don't think they find that answer to stop him. They've got to compete with him, and they've got to outscore the Edmonton Oilers tonight. So their best weapons will be just blanketing Mike Smith with the shots on goal. I was frustrated watching the last game. If you guys watched it, Calgary played a game where they weren't taking those attempts, and they were passing the puck backwards and kind of delaying the speed of their drives. And I think they were trying to overthink the drives instead of just trying to blanket Mike Smith, because the minute that they start attacking, and we saw that with that one goal they start attacking and they're able to get it done. So I'm looking for them to attack harder on Mike Smith tonight. But the last prop bet I have for you guys is Coleman of the Calgary Flames. Now, his shots on goal over 2.5 is +110. It's hit him 4 of the last 5. We took it in the last game. He only got those 2 shot attempts on goal. I am confident in him to have a stronger game in this one tonight. But you guys, I am going to be screaming at my TV. You guys know it. Join me back here at the bottom of the hour. I have another Joe Madden Sports podcast on. I'm going to be talking some more hockey and some NBA. So later today. So you guys have a good one. Let's do a quick recap of these for you guys, and then have a fantastic day. So the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers, I'm going to roll with the under 5.5 in this one. The New York Rangers, I think on the money line is a great way to take it. And the under in the first period, under 1.5 in the first period at -134. This one I'm also sprinkling on to go to overtime. Now, the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers, I do think Calgary is able to get the win. Remember, I'm a homer here. I'm going to fully admit it when I bet for Calgary. Calgary can't lose this one. And if they do, man, help my neighbors, you guys. The over 6.5, I think, is definitely the best way to take this game. I looked at the first period over, like one of you in the views said, taking that over. So if you parlay that, it's a -174 for that first period, over 1.5. Good way to take that. And then to Foley. Points over 0.5 at +112. Shots on goal over 2.5 at -125. Johnny Gaudreau assists over 0.5 at -125. And Conor McDavid shots on goal over 4.5 at +110. And then Coleman of the Calgary Flames shots on goal, including overtime, over 2.5 at +110. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for joining me for Pocket with Joe. I'll be back later with a Joe Madden Sports podcast. Keep smiling, and you know the drill.